Hello, I'm here at the BWCA conference where the theme this year is Insight to Change, Learn, Unlearn and Relearn. I'm here with BWCA Chairman John Wicks and BWCA General Manager Philippa Atkinson-Clow. So John, can you tell me a little bit about the main theme for this year's show and the main themes that this show covered?
Insight to Change was basically around two things in the industry. Firstly, Brexit, obviously, which has been going on, and the way businesses may or may not need to change to allow for that. And secondly, the changing environment in terms of the environment, and how the industry and its sustainability has an impact on that, but particularly with plastics and plastic cups. So it's trying to understand the things around those two entities, and we had Rebecca Ireland from Gunnar Cook talk to us about the changes with employees, and then obviously we had Lord Deben, who came and talked to us very nicely about climate change and single-use plastics.
And Lord Deben's speech was particularly interesting, going on with the topic of sustainability and how prevalent that is in society today. The 5 for 5 pledge for sustainability was launched by the BWCA in 2017. Philippa, can you give us a little bit of an update on how that has gone over the last year, considering that sustainability is so big an issue for consumers now?
Absolutely. Well, we have 5 pillars for the 5 for 5, obviously 5 pillars, and one of them is sustainability. Another important one is the charity side of the BWCA. We decided to support Just a Drop 3 years ago, and we've raised over £56,000 in that time, and we have had 4 boreholes built, and that's over supporting nearly 1,000 people in Zambia. So that's a huge part of the programme. Members have really taken this on board, and many members have raised money themselves and also taken on their own projects. So that's been a fantastic success.
Okay, great to hear. So we also heard Richard Hall's water coolers report for the year, and it was the 6th consecutive year of growth for the water cooler market. And what were the main sort of factors for that, and what would you say were the most important things that led to that growth?
Well, firstly, as we all know, we had a fantastic summer last year, so when people are hot in offices and stuff, then they obviously consume some more water, so that is was quite a large driver for the growth. But secondly, I think in terms of employers providing facilities, cool water for their employees to drink, I think that the agenda in companies it's moving up to look after the employees, and younger employees seem to want to be looked after more than perhaps they did historically. So I think all of that helps drive the industry forward. Obviously, global publicity about needing to drink more water or needing to drink more in its entirety helps as well. So probably those 3 things.
So moving back onto the sustainability agenda, Philippa, what can the associations like the BWCA do to further promote that? I mean, the Right Honourable Lord Deben was talking a lot about how the associations could potentially do more. Are there steps that you want to take over the next year or so to promote that further?
I think that's a really interesting question, and I think when Lord Deben did mention that, he said there was a lot more that the industry could do to shout about our good credentials. I think as an association we already have that, especially in our 5 for 5 programme. What I think members really need to do now is to shout about it themselves within their own marketing programmes.
What could the potential impact of a no-deal Brexit be if that looks like it's the most likely outcome at the moment? And what do you think could possibly happen with Brexit?
So, from an industry perspective, no deal will have an impact on employment and bringing people into the country. We have very low employment currently, and obviously the industry, when it's growing, is going to require more employees. Secondly, we have an exchange rate issue. We don't know where that's going to go, so potentially more The equipment we buy in could become more expensive, which will drive prices going forward further up to our customers. But if we just take the industry as a whole, because we're very UK focused, I don't really think we're going to have, outside of pricing and labour, going to have a big impact. We're very lucky in that regard.
In regards to innovation and the industry moving forward, what sort of developments over the last year or so have you observed which have helped to boost the profile of the water cooler industry and make it a more efficient or interesting industry to be a part of?
That's another interesting question. I've seen going around the trade show today different hydration solutions. So although there's coolers, and there's lots of interesting coolers, there's also fountains, there are taps, hot taps. The industry is diversifying to provide a hydration solution in different circumstances. So I think that's probably where members are concentrating.
I also think that there's a political will to provide water for people with on-the-go bottles, so in towns and cities. And I think that part of the development of the industry will be how we harness that to ensure that those units are looked after, that they're clean, and can provide that quality water to the general public.
So with the general public then moving on, staying on that same sort of point, moving towards having reusable containers rather than single-use plastics, do you think that that could potentially force a rise in sort of municipal water and fountains outside in public places?
Definitely. I think the Mayor of London is definitely trying to drive that, but you know, that type of approach has to be hand in hand, government, local councils, and actually with water utilities, and they're somewhat bigger than we are as an industry. So watch this space.
John, Philippa, thank you very much for joining me.
No problem at all. Thank you.